Welcome to Cabomil News and Community Update in English. This is Korey Riggs along with Claudia Velo, and you are listening on June 20th. I almost said May 20th, Claudia.
No, we're June.
I just can't believe we're June already. Oh my gosh, the sixth month is almost over with. It's crazy. Welcome everyone, 96.3 FM Cabomil, or you can watch us on Facebook Live at Cabomil News. I really recommend that because we're going to show some videos today that are going to be pretty exciting. So
Yes.
if you want to see this online. But first, Claudia, why don't you tell us what's happening with the news today?
Well, last week was actually a week of ups and downs. The beginning of the week, Los Cabos broke the number of 1,000 positive confirmed COVID-19 cases, and there was a lot of talk about whether or not we were going to go back further in the alert system. On Wednesday, the Secretary of Health, along with the rest of the Health Safety Committee, met, and they confirmed that no, we're not going back on lockdown. And in fact, those numbers that were shown at the beginning of the week seemed to be the peak. And the statistics showed that the trend was reaching a plateau, which is what trends do and what epidemics do. And the head of epidemiology for the state of Baja California Sur, Dr. Romero, confirmed this, and he said that the reproduction rate that had been registered the last week, which ended on Tuesday, Tuesday the 15th, I believe was the date, showed a reproduction rate of 0.95. And for statistical and trend analysis purposes, anything below 1 is considered a downward trend. So based on that and based on the number of cases, they assume that they have reached a plateau and that the number of cases should descend. The head of epidemiology did say that it was likely that there might be small spikes because on June 6th, of course, as everybody knows, a lot of people weren't out and we were all at the polling stations because it was election day in Baja California Sur. And so it is expected that within the next 10 to 12 days, there might be small spikes again. Nevertheless, of course, everybody has continued to talk about how important it is to continuing to implement all preventive and sanitary measures and, of course, social distancing to the best of our abilities. But something that the Secretary of Health said was they have looked at the numbers, and it has become obvious that this spike had to do with the closing of campaign activities because there were massive gatherings, and that was probably where the contagions happened, and that was probably the reason for having this spike. But he did mention this matches, it's similar to the numbers that we saw in January after the celebrations for New Year's and Christmas and all that. And we didn't go into lockdown back then, and he confirmed we're not going into lockdown now. It would damage the economy in a way that is really unnecessary, and that would not be fair for the people that are, like all the businesses that are staying open and that are maintaining the protocols and that are doing all that they can to continue to stay open and have people go to work and earn money. So I think overall, those are good news. And those are the big news for this last week.
No, it's exciting, and hopefully they're also just looking at the rest of the world and seeing how lockdowns don't work, and how all of these studies now coming out are showing that states in the United States, you can really see the ones that locked down and the ones that didn't. There's some states that never had a mask mandate as well, whatever you believe about masks, but there was not a difference. And actually sometimes it would show the lockdown states had a lot more cases. So it's just nice that they're saying that they're not going to do it. And I think at some point we all have to we have to take a chance and say, hey, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And if you don't want to do that, it's okay. If you want to stay in, if you want to do whatever, but at some point, all of us as the human race is going to have to say, yeah, this is the risk level that I'm willing to take. And I really believe the government should be out of it. So, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll
But
see.
anyway, good
the
news,
thing
Claudia.
is, the focus is, be clean, strengthen your immune system, be safe, and get out there.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
And getting out there. So we talked about, I had a surgery about 2 weeks ago. And,
Yes.
and actually it's been 3 weeks, but when you're getting back from a hernia surgery, they say about 2 weeks, you can start walking and doing activities. And so the activity that I decided to do, which I don't think was very smart, but if you're watching on Facebook Live, you can see it. This is the activity that I decided to do, and that's a silky shark. And so I jumped in the water with silky sharks. We had Fernanda Nieto on not too long ago. She's been on twice now with Latitude Encounters. And I have to say that it was all fun and games until the shark showed itself when we were chumming the waters.
Yeah.
So, you're saying, I'm going to get in the water. And all of a sudden this big, dark thing came up. Yeah. And Fernanda said, okay, let's get in. It was like, oh my gosh.
It goes against every instinct. I mean, your body and your mind must be saying, this is not a smart thing to do.
It does. But on Sunday, first of all, it was last Sunday. The water was like a lake.
Amazingly clear.
There was no waves at all. It was dead calm. If you ever saw the movie Dead Calm, which is a great movie, by the way, but it was completely flat. And the chum, the part of the problem with that is the chum kind of stayed around the boat. So there was a lot of tuna blood around the boat. And it didn't really go far. So, but the good news is that silky shark must have been in the area because he came right up. But the coolest thing that we saw, which it didn't get on video, was we're in the water and the silky shark kind of goes away. He stayed around for about 45 minutes to an hour. We didn't see him that whole time. He was off in the distance, but Fernanda said he was there the whole time. And he was waiting for us to leave, probably, to come back and try to eat his food. But this 9-foot hammerhead shark just floats up out of nowhere. It was huge. So that the silky shark that I just showed was about 6 foot, 6.5 foot.
Looked small.
9 foot, it was huge.
Yeah.
But seeing a hammerhead in the water is incredible.
There's something so primitive about them. And I think that triggers because that appearance, the appearance of hammerheads for me, it's such a primitive, primal fear that arises in me, the core of me. Every single instinct is like, yeah, don't stick around. Turn away, turn around and leave.
But I have to tell you, the interesting thing was when I first got in the water, of course, it was very scary and we were all looking for the shark. And he didn't show himself at first. He went away and then he came back. But after a while you were in the water, you lost your fear. It was like you couldn't wait to see them. And they were so beautiful, the way they move. And Fernanda, which I really recommend, if you ever have a chance, go with Latitude Encounters. There's other outfits that do it as well. But we've had her on the show. She's really good. She knows what she's talking about. And Katie, the marine biologist that was also here, tells you everything you need to know about sharks. And what they told me is, Korey, once you go out here, you're going to lose your fear of sharks. And I've always had a fear of sharks. I saw Jaws at a bad age, which I'm sure a lot of our audience has had the same thing has happened. Yeah. But sharks are not these eating machines. And they actually have personalities. They are affectionate. And they are just curious. And so it really changes your perspective on sharks. And it changed my perspective on going in the ocean in general. Yeah. And the other really interesting thing that happened, and I'm going to share this too, is we got the chance to jump in the water with the mobiles because this is mobile season, and as you can see on Facebook Live, we were chasing them as we were snorkeling, and they were just jumping out of the water. And just wait, there's thousands of these mobiles. So when you see mobiles jumping below the surface, as you can see there's thousands of them. And so it's just an incredible, beautiful thing that we can do in Los Cabos. So anyway, it's a great thing. And Claudia,
amazing, so amazing. And But having said that, I want to know, because this is something you did 2 weeks after surgery. Now, was that a smart thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
Korey?
It was not smart, and especially chasing the mobiles. Actually, being with the shark was fine because I was just floating there. But when I started kicking my fins, chasing the mobiles, no, that wasn't smart at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
And so the doctor has made me stay in my house, not doing anything for 10 more days because I don't think I did anything bad, but
No.
it wasn't smart.
No, because swimming after Mobulus 2 weeks after surgery, no big deal. Korey, Korey, Korey.
Anyway, well, it was fun, and please, if you get a chance, it's a great activity to do. And we're gonna have Fernanda back on the show,
Yeah.
so she can talk about. She's seen incredible things. There's some killer whales out there right now. We didn't see them,
Yes,
unfortunately, and
yes.
some other
There,
really cool stuff.
there
So.
were there's videos with those killer whales, and they actually, the videos that have been running around. One of them was filmed by Latitude Encounters. I don't know if it was Fernanda or somebody that was on the tour with her,
Oh,
but it shows that one that everybody's talked about, where
it
the
jumps.
orcas are jumping and they get a dolphin.
Ah,
That was one of their tours.
oh my
So
gosh,
yeah,
so
pretty
beautiful.
intense and
Well,
beautiful.
so great. Well, let's bring in one of our favorite guests to have on the show from our favorite bank, Banca Mifel.
Definitely.
We are excited to have again Gaby Gutierrez on the show to talk with us about the economy, about what's going on right now in Los Cabos, but more importantly, to talk to us about the ATP, the tennis tournament that's coming, because that's very exciting news. So we're gonna turn over. Gaby, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. So nice to be here again. Yeah, so let's talk about the tennis tournament.
Yeah.
The tennis tournament, well, Banca Mifel is sponsoring the tennis tournament since it was open 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. And well, last year it doesn't count.
Didn't count. Yeah.
Skip. And now,
We can erase last year.
yeah, we are going to race 2020 from the tennis tournament too. So we are so excited. This time is not the same because of authorities. They are taking the order not to have opened the tournament for public, which is a good idea because many people is there. But we have a private event for guests and for clients, for good clients of Mifel. And we have invited them to join us to this tournament, to this festivity that we have, because it's going to be on TV, I mean, on all the chain of TVs, because the tennis players are coming to participate, despite of the fact that it's so hot in July and August. And yeah, but they love it here. They like to be here. Now it's going to be in Solas, so it's going to change the place. But all the facilities in Solas are ready for the tournament. All the facilities for the tennis players and their families, and of course for us. And we are so excited to have this tournament again, because last year was difficult, but we are so excited. So it's a whole week of games, and it counts points to the tennis players. Mm-hmm. So they are excited to come to
and participate.
Yes.
No, that's great. So go ahead, Claudia.
Something that Joffrey mentioned, the director of the tournament, was how exciting the players were, because this is the first time they're going to be playing. It's a brand new venue at Solas, but also it's so close because they're going to be staying within less than half a mile of where they're going to be playing. So I'm hoping that will help them deal with the heat, because yeah, it's summer and it will be hot, but hopefully they won't be too put out by that. They're going to be really enjoying the place.
Yeah, they are so close now. Well, they love Los Cabos, so they used to go to many activities also. So they are going to be close, but good in Solas. Solas is very, very nice. I mean, the facilities and everything is so nice. So we are going to enjoy that.
So you said it's by invitation, inviting certain people. How many people are going to be able to attend the event?
By Banca Mifel, only 100 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And our friend Daniel Becker's coming, right?
Yeah, Daniel is coming. And I was telling Daniel, because I had a meeting, the first meeting after or inter pandemic. And we went to Mexico City, all the directors, and we were with him. He's now so busy with the new activities that he has. He's now the president of the association, the Mexican Banks Association. So he's really busy with that. And I was telling him that people is expecting more than seeing the tennis players, to see him.
And to remind everyone, Daniel Becker is the founder of Banca Mifel, and he's also the head of the Banking Association of Mexico now. And we had him on this show. I mean, everyone wants to be on this show, and he was here, yeah. Right?
And he's probably going to be again in the show. I mean, he loves it. So, yeah,
we loved it too.
Let's invite him again.
We'll have him back. So that'll be great. Well, what a great thing. And do you know how many people in? I know you know what the Banca Mifel numbers, but how many people in general are being invited?
In general, I think it's 500 people.
Oh, wow. That's pretty nice. But people are able to watch it on TV and
yes, watch it in TV, all the tournament. So it's going to be on TV.
Yeah, ESPN.
Do we know some of the
ESPN is going to be broadcasting. Yeah. And that will be really good. I mean, it will get a lot of coverage for both the tournament, of course, and also for Los Cabos. You'll be really good.
Yes.
And do we know some of the players that are coming?
Not yet. It's like a surprise, and it's going to be a press release on the 22.
Oh, and wow.
Okay. Jeffrey is going to tell us what players are going to come.
That's great. Well, you said they go out and do activities. We could recommend shark swimming. So if they wanted to.
Yeah, not after a surgery. But yeah.
It's very good. Well, Gaby, tell us a little about what's going on in Los Cabos right now in general. I know you're in the middle of tourism. We have a couple minutes before we go to a break, but you can just start the conversation. We'll come back and keep it going.
Yeah, well, in Los Cabos, regarding economy, we are very active. I mean, all banks are very active because we are so open, compared to the other cities in the world. We are open. I mean, we haven't stopped, and to generating money, to generate activity, to generate jobs. So we are very active economically speaking. And that's very good because now we are in the top of all the business for banking, is all on the top, Los Cabos. So now we are in the spotlight of every city, tourism city of Mexico, and I think of the world, because the tourists are coming. The vaccination is a very good thing because now we feel more like secure, and we are receiving all these people. And you, Claudia, were telling us that they are not going to close. I mean, we are not going to close the destination, and because I believe we have reservations for all the year long, and after in the year after, I mean 2022, even for big groups, and we are not stopping that. And I think this is just a time that we have to take care, but after that is going to be just fine. And we always believe in Los Cabos.
That's good, and it seems to be the trend for Los Cabos. And maybe after the break, I'm not sure how we're with time, but after the break, can we talk about the real estate market? Because despite the lockdown and the pandemic and the whole thing, the real estate industry in Los Cabos has been very, very strong.
Surprising. It's all the words for big. Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about all things real estate with Gaby Gutierrez from Banca Mifel. We'll be right back. I haven't heard her voice. Welcome back to Cabomil News and Community Update in English with Korey Riggs, Claudia Velo, and we are with Gaby Gutierrez, the director of Banca Mifel for Los Cabos. And lots of great bonus material on Facebook Live. If you want to go hear the story of how Gaby got a bank in Cabo San Lucas, it's pretty provocative, I have to say. So you definitely want to go to Cabomil News on Facebook Live, or of course you can, if you're listening to us on 96.3 FM Cabomil. All right, Claudia, you had a great question before the break. Why don't we remind everybody what it was?
Yes, since Gaby Gutierrez knows all about the economy and trends and what's happening. Gaby, can you tell us about the real estate market? Because even though we've had obviously a slowdown in a lot of sectors, the real estate market seems to be doing okay. And what has been the trend and your impressions for the Cabo market?
Yeah, well, real estate market in Los Cabos is not okay, it's great. And it has been, never before the way of selling properties. And now we're back to sell properties in blueprints. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, before construction, pre-construction.
Before construction, which was very rare because that happened before 2008. Before that, we used to go this way, but now it's back because people want to be here and they know that it's a good investment to be here, to rent the property afterwards, or to just have it in order to grow it. So it's very interesting what's happening, and we can tell because we have these meetings with all the brokers, and we have these meetings with all the developers. So they are so happy with the market. They are selling a lot. In one property, you can have like up to 4 offers in one property, and they keep the one that they want. And it's so great what's happening with real estate market. And what also gives us the sign that is growing, and the foreigners, not only foreigners, Mexicans too are buying the properties, but more foreigners, as we know, like 90% of them. What gives us that sign is our Fideicomiso department is so active. They close more than 60 contracts, 60 fideicomisos a month. And we are the only ones, dealing with fideicomisos. We are, like the second one after another bank, but it's so great that we have that business, and we can tell, for the value of the properties too, because it's not the same as in other parts of Mexico. Here, the prices are up too. So the real estate market is a boom now. And we are so happy because of that, because, that brings us more people, jobs, money, growing. And that's what we want to grow.
Excellent. Gabby, talking about fideicomisos, a question that is often that often comes up when a foreigner is buying a property. Is it better to buy it in your own name and have the fideicomiso in your own name, or do they have to create an LLC?
Well, if they have an LLC, they prefer to do it through an LLC. They don't have to create it. And if they want it into their names, it's okay. But what I recommend is, because the fideicomiso is a contract that the bank handles, and up to the end, I mean, up to 50 years. And we have to follow the procedure of the fideicomiso. So it's the same that is having an LLC, because we are going to give the property at the end of the fideicomiso, or if the fideicomitente, which is the main person handling the fideicomiso, dies, it goes directly to the people assigned to do it. So it's better to have. I mean, I highly recommend to have a fideicomiso and not an LLC. I mean, you can have it, but I highly recommend to have a fideicomiso, because it's secure, it's safe, and it's better than having a title of a property, actually. Okay. If I would have to do a fideicomiso, I would do it anyway. And I'm a foreigner too, by the way, so I have my fideicomiso. Yeah. So yeah, that's a great figure, a great contract. So yeah, just do it, because it's going to be just as the LLC, but you can do the LLC as well.
Yes, because for foreigners, and I know that you live and breathe fideicomiso, so it's like very common, but for a lot of people, it's the first time they've ever heard of a fideicomiso, and there are certain questions about whether it's a safe document, if it's a safe way to handle your property. And also because old school Mexico, the prestanombres were the common thing, where you would buy your property and put it into under somebody else's name, so that you didn't have to have a fideicomiso. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think it's very secure, it's very safe, and putting in the name on another person, or dealing with the ejidos, for example, that used to be that way in the past, that the land was so confusingly legally thing that you have to deal with. So, but now everything is clear. I mean, you have to follow the procedures, and it's very practical to do it. I mean, and you can find people to do it just right. So everyone is like aware of what's going on with the fideicomisos. So just don't be afraid. Don't do it in another way, because it's cheaper, because it's better, because you don't understand, or because it's different than in your country. So do it the way it is. It's very secure, and it's handled by a bank. So banks in Mexico are very, very controlled by authority. We cannot do whatever we want. We have to do and follow all the procedures, all the politics, all the laws, and it's very secure. So believe in that. Believe that way is the way of doing it.
I have to say, my personal experience was when I just bought some property, and Banco Mifel helped me with that, with the fideicomiso. And so my experience was, Gabby actually talked with me, and I have a Mexican company as well, and I was going to buy it with that because I didn't want to pay the fee. But after hearing just what Gabby said, and after understanding a little bit more, it's so much safer to have a fideicomiso.
Exactly.
It costs what, $400 a year, whatever it is. I don't remember what it is, but it's not that expensive. And it like she said, if something happens, it's going to go right to your beneficiary. There's no legal work that needs to happen. There's none of the probate and all the things. And imagine doing that in Mexico, having to go through all of that.
Yeah, no.
If you don't understand fideicomiso, you're really going to be in trouble when you're going through that kind of stuff. So
exactly.
Anyway, it's a great thing, and obviously Gabby and her team made it easy for me, and really appreciate that. So I think
Yeah,
you
and
wanted
there's
to,
many banks that we do that that business. And in Cabo, I mean, in Los Cabos is very frequent. You have to take in consideration that the people that is signing the fideicomiso is here. I mean, signing means that the people of the bank is here, because sometimes they are not here, so it takes longer to, you know, sign the fideicomiso, and it takes like, it's like a problem to pay for the fideicomiso. So you have to be like, you have to take in consideration all of that too, to pick up a good bank.
okay. So you're
Very
saying
important.
Banca Mi fail, all the people are here to sign?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
You can get it done faster.
Was all about the indirect way of saying that? Okay, just wondering.
Yes.
All right. You were asking about exchange rates as well, Claudia.
Yes.
What was your
well, I remember late last year, you, Gaby, in a different interview with our co-news people in Cabomil, you talked about what the forecast was and how, you know, after the U.S. elections, there might be a big drop, and then after the midterm elections that just took place June 6th, how does your forecast compare to the reality, and what do you see going forward? Because apparently, I mean, the peso, it hasn't dropped much, and it has stayed strong, quote unquote. Not that having a close to 20 peso exchange rate is strong, but it's kind of like steady. So what can you tell us about that?
Yes. Well, if I would, you know what's going on with the dollar and the pesos, I wouldn't be here.
Right. Where would you be, Gaby? What would be your magic place?
Well, I will be here, but not here with you.
Wow. What do you mean? What does that mean?
You don't qualify.
Swimming with the sharks, not for surgery. So yeah, so it's hard to forecast dollars and pesos, and I'm part of this organization that is the Executives of Finances. I get the information also from all the economic system, from them being a part of it, and we are on the market. I mean, we depend on the market. We depend on what's going on in the United States, because the United States is the owner of the dollars. So, and we are the owners of the pesos. So it's a matter of what risk is in dollars and what risk is in pesos. And yeah, apparently, as Claudia said, is stable. You know, it's not like going so up or going so down. It's been stable, and it has days like, for example, when the United States announces that they are going to increase the rates in the United States, so the dollar is going up and down because of those news. But apparently here, and being, you know, in election times, and that it's stable, because all the companies that are exporting or importing are stable too. So that means that the dollar is going to be that way, at least for the next few months. So that's a forecast of, you know, generalized of all banks and the financial institutions, and that, but we will never know. You know, it's like no clue. It's like knowing what's going on with COVID, that you never know. I don't know why, but you never know. So yeah, and so worried because of the after the vaccine, it comes that the more people is sick. I don't know. I really don't understand. I don't have a clue.
Yeah. Well, we could have a whole show on that subject, but we'll
yeah.
probably won't.
No, we can't.
Oh yeah, we can't. We probably can't.
No,
especially
we can't.
yeah.
But we'll have a podcast on that.
We'll have a podcast on that. Anyway, see, well now you got me thinking about the vaccine, so now I'm lost. I was going to ask you a question, Gabby, and now you got me all messed up on my other path. Okay, so the exchange rate. Oh, I know what I was going to ask. Inflation. So I know that inflation right now in the States, and the Fed just came out and said, yeah, it's actually probably not just transitory. It's probably going to be going on for a while. And so how does that affect? So I know that's when the rates go up and the dollar gets stronger because more people want the dollar. But on the other side of that is all this printing of the dollar. In the long term, that cannot be good for any of us.
Well, yeah. Well, I know about Mexico, and some people were telling me, don't say that. Let me tell you. Yeah, because inflation in Mexico is 6.5. That means that is up than the interest rate. So you have the doubt of what to do with your money.
So you're basically losing money if you're saving.
Exactly. If you stay in an investment, you are losing money because prices are going up. So I was telling the people, just go and buy whatever you want, because what you are buying is going to cost more. If you are saving your money to buy that thing, you better buy it now.
I think that what you just said is so key, and people better understand this. The reason why real estate is on fire is what you just said. Because the people that know, the very wealthy people, which I can tell you in the developments here, they know, and they're buying everything they can. They cannot sell fast enough here. It's because everyone wants out of the dollar, because they know what's coming. You cannot print $7 trillion in a year and think that your currency is not going to be debased. And that's the scare. That's the only when it's exciting that we have this real estate market going like this. I know in Arizona, my uncle lives in Mesa in a nice house, and he is getting offers. This house was probably in 2019 was worth about $350,000. He is now getting offers of $600,000, $650,000, $700,000. Multiple offers saying sight unseen. We're not even going to do inspection. We just want to pay. And it's exciting for real estate agents right now, but it doesn't seem healthy to me. It just does not seem healthy.
Not really.
Obviously, I always hope I'm wrong about this.
I think but it's a good opportunity.
It does seem a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity also for Mexicans. I was telling people, friends, and that now that the rates are so low in Mexico too. I mean the rate for investments is a little more than 4%, and if you invest, and the inflation is 6.5. So that's the difference. And also, if you get a mortgage loan in pesos, the rate is 7.99 or 8, so which is very low. So you can have the loan, the mortgage loan, and buy property here in Los Cabos, and you just pay the loan in pesos, and it's like investing in dollars. Because if you buy property in dollars, you are going to get the price increased in few years. And also, if you rent it as an investment, you can rent it in dollars. So that you can pay the loan in pesos, and you are like investing in dollars. And I think that's a good idea. to do now, because now we have that conditions, but I think it's a bubble, and it will pass, and I think we should take opportunities when we have the opportunities, and it's not in all the places, it's not in all of Mexico. So yeah, I believe in Los Cabos, so I'm encouraging the people
buy now.
Well, yeah. It's interesting too that you say that, because buying something in pesos also gets rid of the risk of the capital gains, because sometimes if you get a loan in dollars and you think of in dollars, capital gains, if you sell a property, is all done in pesos. So if there's an exchange rate shift in dollars, you can't think of, hey, I sold it for 250,000, I bought it for 240, I only had 10,000 in capital gains. But the exchange rate when I bought it for 240 was 12, and now it's 20. You have this huge tax.
Exactly. Well, yes, and it's hard, to understand and to teach the difference between dollars and pesos and all the rates and all of that, because our brains are thinking in what the currency we live. So, and we don't take in consideration that the currency implies a risk, a country risk. That's why the peso is the peso, and that's why the dollar is the dollar. It's implied in the country risk. It's not the same to invest in the US than investing in Mexico, or investing in Senegal, or investing in Ecuador. It's not the same. The risk of the country is implied. And so that's why we have currencies, and that's why we have rates. That always American people is like looking at the rates in pesos, and they go like, oh my God, 8% for a mortgage loan? Are you kidding me? Or 4% in an investment, that's huge, that's great. But it's in dollars and it's in pesos. So it has the risk of the country inside that investment or inside that loan. So we have to take that in consideration.
Yes. So the moral of the story is buy now, buy what you want. That I'm thinking that.
I was talking to this guy that we are dealing with for a loan, and he was telling me, oh, should I buy the car? But my wife is not happy with that. I was like, buy the car. Buy it if you want. Yeah, because maybe it's time to buy. And I was recommending, Mexicans, that if you have that credit card with those promotions of months with no interest, buy it, because now you have to take advantage of the inflation. So if you can pay a loan, for example, a year with no interest, you can buy it now. I mean, that could be a recommendation.
I'm all for that. I'm on board.
Yeah, and if you have any doubt, you can call me Claudia. Yes. Yeah, because sometimes it's good to buy, sometimes it's not that good. It depends on the item. It depends on the mean of payment. So so we can talk, and we can make the calculations and the numbers, and just buy.
I like that. Yeah, buy now.
So should we be running up our credit cards? So should we be running up our credit cards then?
Yes, with no interest. Take advantage of the payment. 48
take
months,
advantage of your Mexican credit cards.
Yeah,
because the American credit cards, they don't have those promotions in Mexico. I mean, if they do in the United States, they do it in the United States for buying in the United States, but not in Mexico. So if you have a Mexican credit card, you can use it that way. And it's good and it's fun, actually.
Yes. And there are credit cards in Mexico that everything you buy abroad automatically goes months with no interest. So
yeah,
if
they do
nothing
have
else,
promotions. They
yeah.
do have promotions. You have to be careful of picking up the promotions.
Mhm.
And because if you go to the States, for example, and buy with your Mexican credit card, the exchange rate could be like higher, because the exchange rate is going to be of your Mexican credit card, and those are a little bit higher than the market, in the banks. Yeah, so you have to ask all those questions when you want to buy or when you want to go to the States.
Yeah. No, but I think what you said about it being a bubble, it definitely is a bubble. It brings me kind of like deja vu of Los Cabos in 2005, 2006, when everything was just rolling, and we thought it was never going to end, and we were, I think a lot of us were living way above the forecast.
Living above our means.
Yeah, but we learn from the past.
Right.
So we have like a forecast for the future, because it's going to be like the same. We learn from the past.
I don't know. I don't know if we learn from the past, but I I think it's actually the opposite. We should.
You don't learn.
But we just keep doing the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, it's like a cycle. But if we see it, we have the idea what's going on. So just be like careful to do it. And after 2006 and 2008, but the prices never went down in properties in Los Cabos. They never did. So they maintained the same, probably static, and probably not growing that much, but at least they didn't go like less. So that's a good thing to know about the past.
Well, this has been a great interview. We're running up against the final break here, but Gaby, thank you, and it's so interesting because we should have you back, and you can talk to us about cryptocurrencies. Do you know anything about that?
Wow, that's a whole other topic.
It is, because a lot of people are saying land, gold and silver, and cryptocurrency. This is what you need to be in right now to protect your wealth. So it's very interesting to see. Gaby, thank you as always for being on the show. We love having you on. We'll have you on again. We'll have Daniel Becker on. And just thank you for all your insights and for all you do for Los Cabos. I know everybody calls you for everything about the economy. So we really appreciate you being that person that knows it all.
And I have fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Gaby. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Should I go?
3, 2.
Welcome back to Cabomil News and Community Update in English with Korey and Claudia Velo. Claudia, it was a great show. You want to give us a quick summary in Spanish?
El día de hoy tuvimos la presencia de Gaby Gutierrez de Banca Mifel, quien habló con nosotros sobre el torneo ATP, las tendencias en bienes raíces y la tendencia de tipo de cambio bancario.
Well, Claudia, another great show. And we will be back next week for Cabomil News and Community Update on 96.3 FM Cabomil or Facebook at Cabomil News. We'll see you next time.
Catch you next time.